Welcome to the Model Rail Replacement Podcast, helping you get to your onward journey. A friendly service that helps you get from A to B, or probably nowhere at all.
So I says to Mabel, oh, wait, hello, welcome to the Model Rail Replacement Podcast. I'm your host, James, and with me is co-host and producer,
Sam, good morning, everyone.
hello, Sam. And how are we this week?
Oh, James, to be honest, mate, I'm exhausted. This is one of those weeks where I've just not stopped. I was away for a union conference this week. Very, very good outcome because of it. And then I had a 2-day first aid course, and then also standbys and stuff like that. And I just feel like I haven't stood still for very long, and it's eaten into my hobby time. So I'm not burnt out. I am very tired though. How about you?
I see. So no hobby at all this week then?
Well, I've done little bits. So I've started, my platforms have gone in, and I'm just doing I've just got to finish the white edging on the second set of platforms and I can glue those down. So actually, now that you've
Some
said that,
the TT build, is it on the narrow gauge?
this is the TT build, this one.
TT, all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, building your platforms then.
Yes.
It's quite quick, isn't it? You got platforms. What you got? You got all your track down?
No, I haven't got all of it down. I've basically I had the problem of I couldn't lay the track down properly unless the platforms were down because I wanted to make sure that I had no problems with the clearances on the platforms. And so I wanted to make sure that all the platforms are down. I'd get all 4 tracks up past those platforms, and then I can sort of go to town. So I've basically got another 7 foot of straight to go before I start going up the inclines. So that's my next bit to accomplish with the layout. But I mean, I'm getting there. I have lengths that can actually go up the layout for a little bit, which is quite fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then finally, my Grange and Hodder baseboards turned up this week, which, considering it was initially a 3-week turnaround, I think I'm on week 10. So it took quite a while. So my initial, I think I thought I'd have 3 months to do this exhibition board ready for Chatham. It's now a month. So on top of trying to do the TT build, I'm now debating whether it's worth filming the Chatham build because I thought it'd be quite fun because it's a small little layout that pretty much anyone could build. But the fact that I am now really short on time to
Let's face it, a YouTube video editing, getting a video out when you've got a month is not a good idea, is it? Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I spend most of my modeling time redoing intros and talks because I fluff my lines. And then you've spent more time bloody recording than actually doing any modeling, which is a nuisance, to be honest.
cool. That's all I needed to hear. I just needed to hear it from someone who
Just show us the end product. Show us the end product and just talk about what you did. If there's anything, anything you're proud of and that, you just go over it afterwards. Maybe if whilst you're doing it, just take few photos and stick that in the edit afterwards, and people can just learn about it that way.
there you go. Thanks, James. That's all I needed to hear. I just needed to hear from you that it was okay that I didn't finish this project.
All right, that's my
Um,
YouTube TED Talk there. And if anyone else wants a YouTube TED Talk, I will be next at the Stratford upon Avon Village Hall in August. So
yeah, there we
that in
go.
the diary.
Um,
Stratford upon Avon's a village.
you have hit on something though. So one of the reason that my YouTube videos previously have been so sporadic is I find sometimes you don't get burnt out from the hobby, you get burnt out from trying to do videos on it, and it's why previously I ended up just doing monthly updates on videos because at least with a monthly update you can just spend 15 minutes talking about it rather than filming it over several hours, then making a 15 to 30 minute video that no one watches.
Yeah, I think the problem is it started off as vlogs for a lot of people, and then it became how-tos, but then everyone was doing how-tos, and it's kind of got to a point everyone feels like it's still got to be a how-to, and I personally have tried to gone back to the vlog technique of just I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, this is how it's going kind of thing. You don't need me to show you how I built something or painted something, because there's 900 other videos online that show you that. So, although I say that, someone then turned around and went, "Can I have a video of how you painted your shops?" So, oh, no one ever watches painting videos.
No, everyone's selfish and they don't watch those. They ask for them and then it's a complete waste of my bloody time.
Just buy lots of different greys and paint the bricks individually, and you'll be fine. There you go. Oh,
So
God.
So, although I haven't necessarily had lots of hobby time, I have done some little bits here and there since we last recorded. Yeah, I'm just very tired at the moment, and that's not a hobby burnout tired for me. That is just a life burnout. I have been very busy. So I'm sure when I get some time back, I will be able to do these things. But I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm probably not going to vlog the creation of this exhibition board. I'll probably just do a here it is, come see it at Chatham. So yeah, you're probably right on that.
Yeah, there you are. That's the best way forward. Best way forward.
What about
There
you?
we
What
go.
have you been up to hobby wise?
What have I been up to? Right, well, Rail 200, even though the date for finishing your layout is end of September, let's face it, school holidays are coming up, so that's 6 weeks written off. I haven't got a lot of time really, so I've been trying to get work on it and get it done. I want some signals for it, and I want working signals. So I have scratch built some working ground position signals, as demonstrated in the video I sent to you guys. I'm quite pleased with. I mean, that there was more swearing than a Docker, because this tiny little thing trying to get it to work and for the head to turn. But I got there. Uh, and yeah, I think it's quite impressive. Another peak, I think, is supposed to be like a diorama, but I'm sure there could be appreciation for parts that move. And then I'm doing some ratio signals as well, and I've been adapting them to suit the scene, including adding lights to them. So I've actually got them to light up, which has been a bit of a challenge to disguise how the wires get to them. I've done one signal better than the other, which obviously it's the second one. The first one's like the prototype, and it's kind of got two bits of wire at the top that they're kind of discreet, but they're kind of obvious at the same time. I'm hoping a bit of paint might blend them in. So I've done them. What
They
else
do
did I
look
do?
very good though, just to clarify.
So yeah, not touched the 009. That's been left for a little while. And I got some of those those really expensive Pac-Man L&WR coaches that looked absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I found out because I've got a few London Brighton locos, and I was like, I wanted something for them to pull. There was the Sunny South Express, which was an L&WR rolling stock behind the London Brighton loco as it came into Brighton. So found a picture of that online. I was like, ah, man, that's going to cost me.
Thing is, I know that
I
time
found
wise,
it. I found an excuse.
I know that we talk about this in our interview in today's episode. Whether or not it's made the cut, I can't remember. I remember we've had this conversation with today's guest, but that's a completely different story. But yeah, I mean, so you've been purchasing some bits and bobs and changing up
Yeah,
your.
I went to Tony's trains, but Tony wasn't there. He was on holiday apparently, first time in 12 years. So hope you had a nice holiday, Tony, if you're listening. And so yeah, it was a little expensive trip to Tony's trains, and it was all fun. It's all. It looks really. They do. I mean, they are pricey for a coach, but I mean, they look absolutely magnificent. This livery, absolutely was a superb job done by Bachmann. And yeah, if you want some, you got to get some quick, from what I hear, because they're selling out quite fast.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's it really. Model wise, just building signals, I suppose. And,
Yeah.
news. There is some news, isn't there?
There is some news. So Bachmann have announced a new special edition diesel.
Yes, Class 69. I know, we've announced the Class 69. They have. They announced Class 69 in four various liveries. This is an additional livery. So it's a charity livery, and it's celebrating the charity Andy's Man Club, which is a mental health organisation encouraging men to talk and prevent male suicide. So I think it's a very worthy cause for that. And proceeds from the sale will be donated to the charity, with Bachmann aiming to raise £13,000 to help get men talking all over the UK. So yeah, and they've got the hashtag "It's okay to talk," and it is okay to talk. If you're ever feeling like that, there's always someone out there that will listen to you, and we've covered this before in our own mental health burnout episodes and sort of reiterate on that fact, I suppose, that you're not alone. There's always someone out there to listen. So yeah, I think it's a very worthy cause for it, and yeah, so get your pre-orders in for that one. And it's a very nice black livery, I think. On it looks very smart.
It does.
So,
It almost looks like a stealth version of the Class 69 as well.
it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's probably not the right thing to say, but it does look like it looks like it's in its ninja livery.
I was about to say, yeah, it's very ninja.
It's got those little yellow warning panels sort of sticking out there.
So yeah, the other news then this week was Rails. I've got an exclusive that they're doing with Rapido trains. This follows on from the previously announced Caledonian single, and Rails are getting a Caledonian Railway lined dark blue number 123. I think that matches their 812 class that they did because they had the original blue and then the preserved dark blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another nice extra model. And I think there's also additional Scottish coaches to go with as well. So there's North British Railway livery and Highland Railway green and white. Looks very nice. I mean the single does look quite fabulous. And if it's I want to say if you're a Scottish modeler, I think Rapido sort of aims the market of if you're just a unique loco collector, I think might be one of the stronger appeals of what they do.
Yeah, it's definitely not your run-of-the-mill typical, oh, all the other manufacturers make one, so we're going to make one. It's very much if they announce something, it's because there's something special and individualistic about it.
Yeah. That's it. It's something it's a bit iconic and that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the news from the Rails camp there. Coming in at 224.95 for a standard and 324.95 for a DCC sound. Which, for listening from last week's feedback on the episode, people want sound. So we are. Well, I am. I don't know. I think you're a bit on the fence, but I am in the minority for wanting the sound being switched off.
It definitely felt like. I mean, I don't think anyone. There wasn't loads of backlash and yelling at us, which was
It wasn't
quite nice.
negative, was it? It was very positive feedback, wasn't it? And it was very open-minded. And what I did like was there was an agreement that the exhibition halls can be a bit of a sensory overload, and maybe we do need to be a bit more considerate about when we're setting these things up. But most people sort of seem to say at home they're quite happy just to have the sound on. So
So I think the thing is that people basically turned around and said they don't disagree with us about the volume of the sound. I think a lot of people are just very much they enjoy the sound, but I think I think it's probably an episode that whilst people haven't agreed with us, nobody's been horrible about it. Everyone have accepted that our opinion. We're not anti-sound. We're just saying please turn it down. I think a lot of people are in the same boat. I think people like sound, but just turn it down.
Have not erupted the internet in uproar this week. We've not done our job properly. Then we've let us. I'd like to ask the question of how their partners feel about DCC sound.
And especially
Wives and husbands, girlfriends, boyfriends. I want to know how you feel about DCC sound. Are you happy about hearing Class 37 running around in the loft at 11 o'clock at night while you're trying to go to bed? Is it for you?
it's when you turn around and
email us at Model Rail RP.
You turn around and say, "Are you aware that annoyance is costing £100 each?"
Well, Sam, for God's sake, this is telling the thing's a secret. I don't know how many people you've just dropped in it now, because I know that our guest today, Chris from ModelU, his wife listens to the podcast with him.
I know.
Yeah, and apparently she quite enjoys it. But after that little bombshell, we may have just got the man in trouble. So, which is a shame because we've had a delightful conversation with him, and I think we should share it with our listeners.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's dirty. That is filthy.
Sir, you can't get that out right now. Not in the middle of a dinner party.
Why not? I want to show it to all of my guests.
I'm afraid it's just not appropriate, sir.
Nonsense, Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that.
I say, has he whipped out his dirty shunter for us all to see? You can get your models weathered by Emperor's Path using just the airbrush for a light dusting, or alternatively, oil paints and airbrush to add that extra depth. Contact Emperor's Path on Instagram at emperors_path, or alternatively, emperorspathcontact@gmail.com. Emperor's Path Weathering. If it's not dirty, let's fix that.
Only Emperor's Path makes it that dirty.
Right, we're back, and this week is another of our industrial chats. Now, doesn't make that sound like we've got some sort of factory process going on, but it just means that we want to talk to people in the industry about who they are, what they do, and how we all support each other. So this week we have Chris from ModelU. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Sam. Hi, James. Nice to be on.
It's great to have you on. So for those listening out there, could you introduce yourself? Let us know who you are and who you work for.
So my name's Chris. I am the general manager here at ModelU. So we scan people and shrink them down into miniature scales.
That's it's quite an impressive product. And how did this come about? I suppose it's got to be the first question. Where did the idea come from? To if we could just scan someone, we can then make them on to your layout.
So Alan started ModelU just over 10 years ago now. So he wanted to make a model of Oswald Street work. And it's always a bit of a tongue twister, me trying to say that. He was after some bits that weren't readily available at the time. So he ended up buying a 3D printer and starting to design bits for the model he was doing. In doing his research for it, he got talking to a few chaps that worked at the works when it was in use, and he just loved their stories and just wanted to be able to help people retell that story. So effectively, that's when he had an attachment to an iPad and then started scanning people, and it's gone from there.
So that's really cool. I remember seeing an article. I think it was in BRM the early days. So it was just literally an iPad with the scanner on top of it. Is that right? And he sort of how did that work? Did he sort of just stand around and just walk around them? And
so he whoever was having a scan would have to stand still for a few minutes while he walked around, and effectively it would stitch the images together of what he was getting. After the iPad, he went to a high definition handheld scanner. So same process for the scanning there, but it was a better quality scan. So better quality figures at the end of it. And then what would it be, November 2 years ago, 23, we ended up with this photogrammetry rig now, which has 105 cameras in it, which is quite a piece of kit.
That is a bit of kit, isn't it?
So technically, although we've kept the name Scan, having a scan done, it's technically a photogrammetry rig and not a scanner anymore. But it's one of those, everyone's used to the term for a scan from ModelU, so we stuck with it.
That makes sense, I suppose. But that sounds like a very impressive bit of kit. Is that what you take around to shows now, and people can just sort of walk in and just on the day? How does it work?
Yeah, so like I said, there's 105 cameras on this, and it takes all the images almost instantaneously with each other, and then it stitches them together almost like knitting. It will get a bit of one picture and it knows to match it up with a bit of the next camera. So it's a complete 360-degree thing. We hear a lot of "Beam Me Up, Scotty," and people saying it looks like a scene from Joe 90 from back in the day.
Okay, I get that reference. That's, I don't know. That's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, I was introduced to it from my dad, who said this is the worst one. He went, "Thunderbird's good, Captain Scarlet, Joe 90, never liked it."
So yeah, and then because all of our scans are from real people, we can scale it to absolutely any size effectively. So we do it generally in the office from 111.3, so that's a garden railway size, all the way down to American N, which is 1 to 160th. I've been having some fun with Tom Marshall recently, so Bug Skelly Station, where I've put his scan down to Z for him, so that's 1 to 450, and you can still tell that it's him, scarily.
That's impressive, isn't it? It's so small. It's not for his little his viaduct build, is it? For his
Yeah, I'm going to send it over to him.
that's really cool. Yeah, I think you sent us an image the other day, and I was like, the tiny little speck on your finger was.
Yes, I'm just glad I don't have to paint it. That's
Yeah, I didn't think of that bit. That's got to be.
that's,
I think you can leave the eyes on that one. I don't think you have to worry about painting the eyes on it.
for photogrammetry rig we've got now, it's also really good at capturing color. So we're doing more and more scans in color now as well, which is quite exciting.
That is cool. So would that mean that you can scan someone in color and print the whole thing in color eventually? Would it be like that? And then there'll be no need to worry about the painting process?
Yeah, exactly. So we just recently launched what's called ModelU Studio. So people coming in and having scans done as, say, wedding cake toppers or family portraits, and then
Yeah.
print out in 3D instead of a 2D image above your fire on your wall. You can have a 3D collection of your whole family effectively, and it's all printed in color, all of those bits, so you don't have to worry about getting your paintbrush out or anything. It's literally just ready to hand us a gift or do whatever you want with it.
Oh, that's very cool. So I was looking the other day and I saw that you had launched the studio and that you got the various figures on display. And I think a really nice one was the mums to be. I thought that was a really nice idea, a really nice memento there. But I hadn't realised that you're offering it in printed colour, so that you don't have to be a modeler. You can just buy these and then have a little memento for like you say, put on the shelf. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's just we're able to really get the color now, where it's obviously a lot of our figures in the range don't have the same color quality to it. So obviously we've got recommended figure painters. We got Dan Everson, Tunnel Lane Model Railways. He's absolutely fantastic figure painter. But for those that want something a little bit different, there's also this other option that people can go down.
That's cool. I like that. That's very cool.
The other thing we can do with this scanner is scanning pets as well now. So we've had all sorts of dogs in. We had a miniature schnauzer in a couple of weeks ago for a scan. We've had absolutely all sorts. Effectively, the only thing we ask for is a pet that can stay still for 3 seconds, and then we're good to go. So we had a day a few months ago where we had a rabbit, a cat, and a dog scanned in a day. Fortunately, they weren't in the office at the same time, but that was quite a day.
That's impressive. I was going to ask you, yeah, because it looked like some of the animal prints. The donkey was that scanned or was that drawn on the computer? Because it looked scanned.
All the animals we've got in the range currently are digitally sculpted.
Ah.
So, as yet, effectively they're cheats. We've had no rat that we've tried to scan, no seagulls that we've tried scanning. They're all digitally sculpted. So
That's cool. But you can get your pet if you want. So.
Yes, definitely.
That's good, yeah, because I didn't see any Jack Russell Yorkshire Terrier crosses when I was looking through your figures. So I'll have to bring mine in.
Location-wise now, we're easier than ever to get to as well. So we're just north of Bristol in a little town called Chipping Sodbury. Beautiful high street. Loads of different pub options there as well if you want a pub lunch. But we're so easy to get to off the M4 now without having to worry about going into Bristol itself.
You're closer to Bristol Parkway than Bristol Temple Meads, aren't you?
Yes, we are now. Getting to us by train is slightly more difficult now. I guess you'd have to go into Yate Station and then bus it up. But again, that's not too far a journey up.
Still doable, and you get a train journey out of it if you decide to take that option, don't you? So
exactly, yeah.
You could make a day of it. Obviously, as you say, you've got the studio that you've set up for people that aren't even modelers now. So basically, anyone can come to you and use the scanner as as it's incorrectly called. But have you got any other innovative ideas that are coming for the future? Is there other things that we should look out for? I mean, my one I was wondering the other day, I was looking through, was is there any chance of drivers for the Oxford diecast cars? Because you've sorted the locos out, but little figures that could fit in the vehicles would be great.
I'm going to go with never say never. So I've been with Model U the last 3 years, and in that time, our relationship with all sorts of different companies has just absolutely flourished. Say, for example, our relationship with Rapido, I'm just pulling a company out. This could go for many others. They're so helpful in lending us locos or whatever for us test fitting crews. The same with, for example, Hellion. They're just absolutely fantastic with helping us. And these relationships are definitely forming with a wider range of companies. And yeah, I could expect that we will end up doing some drivers for Oxford diecast cars. But yeah, I would hate to try and put a times period on that, because I'd hate to get a question in a month's time. So I heard this is coming out. We have been in conversation with all sorts of companies about all sorts of future projects. So definitely watch this space.
That's cool. Because I saw that with the announcement of the Hornby TT Terrier, you've scanned drivers for that one already, have you or scaled down your figures? Is that right?
We saw the announcement just before. Was it just before Key Model World Live? They announced that one.
Yeah, about 9th of April, I think they were announced.
So we scaled down our 00 offering because we had two different Terrier packs that fit for the 00 offering that Hornby have done. So we scaled it down, almost hopeful it would work. But Hornby were so helpful in lending us briefly their early prototypes that we were able to test fit it in, guarantee that it fits. And so, yeah, it's ready to go. So we've beaten that one to market.
The driver and fireman before the loco. So.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's nice just being able to offer loco-specific crews. It makes such a difference for the customer knowing that we can guarantee something fits instead of just, oh yeah, this should be about right. I know if you're spending £8, well, £7.95 on a pair of figures, it's nice to guarantee that you just have to paint it and it'll fit. There's no needing to get a bit of the figure apart.
Yeah, because you sort of spent that money on it. You don't want to start cutting limbs off and bits just to try and fit them in the cab, are you? I think, like you say, in sometimes it can be spotted that the driver's missing a foot or a hand or something like that. So I think, I was impressed with the range of driver and fireman that you have on offer. Obviously, there's quite a few locomotives covered already. It's quite impressive. So when you go to the shows, do you take the whole range with you, or do you just sort of take what you think will sell best on the day?
So our range now is over 1,000 line items. And obviously for us, we can do that in any scale from one, like I said earlier, 1/12 all the way down to 1/160. So there is no way we can ever take everything to a show. I think it'd be close for everything to have to hire a whole hall out at Worley, at the NEC, sorry.
Blimey.
That's just how big our range is. So we take some of our best sellers or what we think will sell well, but there is a little bit of guesswork to that. But also different parts of the country, different things sell better. Being aware of the different locations in the country. And we do offer a collection service. So if we're going to a show, they can email in to collect it, to pay for collection at the show and do it, or do the order through the website and put on there that it's for collection at the show.
Oh, that's handy. That's a little useful feature, isn't it? And when you're at the show, you can be scanned on the day. Is that a case if you get the scan and then you wait for it to come through the post, or how does that work if someone goes to the show and decides that they want to be on the layout? And I've seen a wardrobe there. Is that right? You can play a bit of dress up.
Yeah, so we take a whole collection of outfits with us. We try and cover the main steam and diesel periods. The scan itself only takes about 3 seconds. It takes longer to take the customer's details. When the scan's complete, it does pick up a little bit of the floor. So there is just like a little bit of editing work to do back in the office. If you're having it printed in grey, you should have it within 3 to 4 weeks. And a colour print's usually around the 10-week mark.
That's not too bad, is it? That's I suppose when you've got a lot coming through like that, that's a pretty good wait time of 3D printing these days, isn't it? Lots of other companies are sort of similar. I suppose that really comes on to my next question. Then, with the rise of 3D printing, because I think ModelU was one of the first ones, sort of 3D printers out there, and now there's a lot of other companies competing for business. How do you stay relevant in an increasingly competitive market?
So that's a really good question. We've got such an extensive back catalogue of figures. We kind of have something for everyone already in our range, but we've also got this fantastic relationship with so many companies. So we've got so many loco-specific crews, which is what a lot of people are after, something that they know will fit into their engines. And we've never rested on our laurels at all. So while I've been at ModelU for the last 3 years, we've completely changed all of our printers. We've changed our resin. We've changed how we clean up prints. We've changed how we scan people. So absolutely everything's different. I say from when I did my first show with ModelU, which would have been 3 years ago in August, would have been Railwells. I might have the month wrong, but Railwells was my first show. Fantastic little show. But the only thing that ModelU has that was used then that we still use now is some of the clothing and the till. Everything is completely different. People back in the day coming to a show would have seen us scurrying through little boxes to try and find the right product instead of the huge stock stands we use now. And everything in our range being scanned from a real person means everything's to scale. We've seen some I'm not going to name any company names, but some companies have some figures that certainly don't look human with misshaped arms and legs.
That's fair enough. Yeah, no, I remember what you're saying about the little packets. I think I've still got one or two figures waiting to be painted in my big pile of figure boxes that are with the orange card and the blue card on the back of it. One's a chair and one's a driver, and I mean that was can't be that many years ago. My mind could have been with me, but but yeah.
So we moved away from that system November 20. What would that be? November 23. We moved away from the card to the lovely new labels we've got now, which again has actually long term saved us so much time. All those little labels that were stuck to the card, you had to open a file to find where exactly that thing was to stick it on. It took absolutely ages. We laugh now in the office about how we used to do things like that.
In the good old days.
Yeah,
remember back in 2023. Oh.
It's just one of those things, how technology moves on, and we're always on the lookout for the next progression that we can do. Just amazing how much has changed in that time.
I think it speaks testaments to you guys as a company that you are constantly changing. And I remember the first time I heard of you was in a magazine back in 2013, and my father-in-law came and got scanned back when Alan was at the Portsmouth show. Because that's going back at least 10, 12 years now. And I remember him doing it with the iPad, and I remember just being in awe that he was getting this scan of him, and he still has the little model. He got it printed in O gauge, and he gets it out. He's got it on a little Warhammer base, and he gets it out every Christmas and puts it up as like a Christmas decoration. That it's not themed to Christmas or anything, but it's his special little thing he gets out at Christmas. And how you guys have, I mean, even then that was revolutionary, but you guys have just changed and done loads of different new and innovative things that, I mean, James and I were talking to you and you said to us, oh, we do pets. And we were both really shocked at the level of all the different pets and animals that you had. Because James, you were after a particular breed of dog. And then Chris, you're like, yeah, we got that.
No, Staffordshire Bull Terrier. I always want to make a model of my old Staffy Gizmo, and all I've got at the moment is a little Pico dog that isn't quite. It sort of looks a bit like a Staffy, and I painted it his colours, and to me it looks like him. But when I saw that you had the Staffordshire Bull Terrier on the website, I was over the moon because now I was like, I can have Gizmo on the layout, and it's just it's a little thing, but to me it's really important because I thought the world of that dog, and anyone that comes on the show always knows that he's always my chosen icon of photo when we record these things, even though I think it's been 10 years since we lost him, but it just means so much. So yes, offering something like that it's quite important. And again, I think that's why it's great when you come back to what you offer in regards to like the expecting mums that can have the figures or the wedding toppers. It's something really special. And as Sam says, like his father-in-law, it's a special little figure that comes out every Christmas. And I think that's such a nice, unique perspective of your company.
It's also one of those things people don't realise. We actually keep all the scans on file as well. So the first scans Alan ever did are still on our systems, so people can always order reprints of them. I will admit I've just had a quick nose through. By any chance, then, Sam, does your grandfather have his arms crossed in his scan?
Yeah, so he does have his arms crossed in the picture. So that's really cool. I didn't realize it was still on file because if I'd have known that, I probably would have ordered a few copies to go on layouts and stuff. But I think he'll be over the moon because he listens to the podcast because he's also a trained. I'm going to call him a nerd. He's a trained nerd like us, and he listens to the podcast. So I think he'll be over the moon that his model is still available even after all this time.
Yeah, it looks like a really nice scan, to be fair. But yeah, it's one of those. So when he had his scan done, it had been printed in red resin then.
Yes, it was because I painted it for him. And the running joke is I had to put sort of Games Workshop little tufts around his feet because grandchildren had progressively over the years kept snapping his feet off, so it always looked like he was just stood in the middle of a wheat field. But yeah, we'll I'll order some more in the future because I think that'd be really nice to get. I know he ordered an O gauge version of it, but it will be nice to get him in a double O and a TT version as well.
The amount of people that are like, "Oh, I wish I'd had it more recently." It's like, well, we still can.
There you go. Well,
There we go.
You can still get it. That's very cool. So yeah, that's cool with Sam's father-in-law still on file then. But will he make the YouTube Wall of Fame? Because you have quite a few YouTubers available, don't you?
Yeah, we've got quite a few now. It's quite a range covering different modelling scales, different modelling periods as well. So always happy for someone to contact if they've had a scan and wanting to be in the range. So yeah.
I mean, you have a very, very cool collection of YouTubers, social media personalities and stuff on there. There's a really charming, really handsome new one that you've just added to your collection, I believe.
Yeah. Someone straight away went and bought two of yourself there.
Did they?
Someone's bought you.
Oh.
You've been.
Yeah, I want a refund. I thought it was Fred Durst. But...
What scale was it purchased in?
Double O.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, thanks. But yeah, as James said, that there's
I know
loads
that
of social...
you come in and try and brag about your figure, and then you found out someone's bought your figure, and now you've gone all shy and embarrassed about it, haven't you?
I'm not good at this. I can be really blasé thinking that no one's going to purchase it, and then when I find out that they have, I suddenly panicked and was like, "Oh my God, someone's going to have me on their layout." Thanks, Mum.
Yeah,
I do think that James and I need a couples version as well.
He could have a scan and just whenever you nowhere near, just looking like he's got his arm around you, and then people could just pose James in with absolutely anyone.
I was hoping when I do it, I was going to be in my Signalman get up, and then I can be in the Signalman range, and then people can have a genuine Signalman in their box. You see,
that'd be a good one.
So yeah, but yeah, I suppose maybe we could do the arm thing, maybe.
Ironically, James loves accepting that I do this work for him, but he doesn't necessarily actually like to be referenced alongside me.
So we'll jump back into that after Sam's self-promotion there. Obviously, if you do want to get a Sam figure, you can find it on the ModelU website. And I think I looked at your list of shows. I think the next one I might be able to see you at is when you're over in the NEC in November. So I'll probably have to venture over then. And as I say, if I bring my Sigamond's get up, I could probably well, no, I suppose I could come visit you in Bristol at some point. You're only down the road on the train, really. But anyway, now I'm detracting from the conversation. So yeah, you've got various YouTubers on there. Is there anyone that you would like to pick, real or fictional, to have in your Model U range?
So one we get asked about an awful lot, and I'd love to welcome him to the office, is Francis Bourgois. He's probably our most requested individual person we've had in the last couple of years. So if you're listening, Francis, give us a call.
I'm surprised, though. I would have thought Francis would have had a scan with you by now. I mean, obviously, you're the company I'd think of first. The first one that comes to mind if I wanted to get myself scanned, you would be on to go to. And, I would have thought, he is a railway model. He does like that sort of thing. I would have thought him in there. But yeah, I did the other day.
He's a very busy man. He's a very busy man. I know I did speak to him, and he was quite interested, but there's only so many hours in a day, so.
It's fair enough. He's the world's jammiest train spotter, as I like to call him.
Yeah, he's done great. I'd say he's done fantastic for the hobby.
Oh,
Really
definitely.
out there for more people to see.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, and that's it. And it's he's sort of opened the world to it, and I think he's done some wonderful things for the hobby. But yeah, I do. I found it amusing because Sam obviously put on his Instagram the picture of him coming up as a figure on Model U, and the first post someone put on it was, "Are you doing a Francis?" Shot him down like that.
Sorry, Sam.
It's all right. I'm used to it. This is how it goes.
There we are. Yeah, right. So your choices are Francis. What about you, Sam? Who would you like them to make if you could pick anyone, real or fictional?
Oh, that's a curveball. I wasn't expecting the question to come my way. I don't know. I feel like it would have to be someone like quite distinct and memorable. I mean, Francis Bourgeois is a very good choice because he's got a very distinct look about him, hasn't he? I don't know. Like there's so many friends in the hobby who I think would be amazing to be in a model in a model form. Very selfishly, I'd like to have a little scan of my daughter. Like it's like that the new modern age thing of as a railway modeler having it's our new way of having a sort of getting the scan done is a way to preserve that memory of them at this age. So very cheesy, very cliche, but I think I'd like to actually get my daughter scanned so that I can go, this is her at that age, and she'll forever be on the. I'm trying to think of a way to not make this sound morbid because she is still alive. But that's the first person I can think of. I'm gonna have to come back to you.
Oh, yeah. Mine's just Alan Partridge.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's a good shout. I didn't think of Alan Partridge.
I want Alan. Cool.
Just staying on your point there, Sam. I know it doesn't help for anyone listening to this. So I've just sent you a picture of a bloke who was scanned with his son. So this was a couple of years ago. The painting Dad's done on that jacket is absolutely fantastic. But he had this scan done a couple of years ago, so he could always have like that moment. So I was walking around an exhibition and just saw these like couple of figures, but now he's wanting another one a couple of years on to show like effectively he can show his son getting older in different scans.
That's so cool. That's really cool. It is like it's our new version of, I guess it's the way in our hobby that for years we as a human race have just preserved pictures and stuff like that, and I guess this is the new way of preserving it.
It's like a 3D photograph, isn't it? In that sort of moment in time.
Yeah.
And no, I like it. There's so much about it, isn't it? Because it's not just getting a figure for your layout. There's so much more to it. And yeah, I hadn't realised it only took about 3 seconds because I've wanted to do one with my son, but he's not one for keeping still. So I was always under the impression because I obviously had seen the iPad go around and you had to keep still for while Alan spun round you sort of thing. And I thought, well, he'll never keep still for that. But now knowing it's only going to take us 3 seconds, he can keep still for that long. I'm certain. So yeah, there's so much potential there, isn't there?
Yeah, so we also always check that the scans worked before you leave, or if we're unsure if there's been a bit of movement, we ask you to come back in 5 minutes so we can just confirm it. So we always like to make sure we've got a happy customer, especially with the personal scans.
Do you have a favourite print yourself of what you produce? Is there a figure in the range that you really like?
So I'm mindful that the wife might be listening to this podcast, and our wedding cake topper is actually in the range.
Oh, cool.
So that's her in her actual wedding dress. We're scanned at separate times, so that's in the range. So officially, I've got to go for that one. Unofficially, we've got so many figures that are part of a absolutely fantastic cameo. So we've got a man, he's labelled as shed staff eating. So he sat down and he's looking one way, and I think even on his own he looks really good. But there's also one of shed staff drinking, which you can sit side by side, and they look like they could just be talking all through life, just sat side by side. I'm going to go with shed staff eating for that one.
I like that one. Yeah, I remember spotting the one drinking the other day, and yeah, I do like them. You have a lot. You have a lot of poses which they're very natural, aren't they? They're not. Because I think that's one of the things people try to always avoid in when doing a model railway is if you've got a figure doing something that looks like it's movement, I mean they're just frozen in time, it spoils the effect. But if you've always got them stood like you say, having a conversation, or they're just stood there drinking a cup of tea. I think one that sticks in my mind, I think it's like the farm workers, and there's one of them just he's just dozing in the sun on a sack of hay or whatever it is, and they're such natural looking poses that I think they just blend in so well when you put them on your layout.
Yeah, it's one of those where you're not wanting to detract from your loco going through or whatever modelling scene you're doing. So our figures are very good at not doing a lot. I'm not quite sure what that says about us as an office team. We've also been very grateful for all the help we've had from different railways things. So say Pendon were really helpful for us when we started off, and the Severn Valley Railway have been really helpful as well. So we've done so much scanning with people from both, and yeah, we're just really grateful for all the help we've had over the years, and they know what poses they're in so often. Yeah, they know a lot more about their day-to-day running than I do.
The one that comes to mind for that is you scanned my friend Paul, who is your RNLI guy on the website. So you can get Paul in his Coast Guard. Is Coast Guard the right term? He's going to kill me. But he's in his RNLI suit and everything, and you've got a little set of him now, which is either on the website or it's going to be on the website soon.
So they're on the website. We've got different 5-packs. So we've got a crew on deck and a crew at rest poses. So what we've done with them, just so there's a bit of difference, they don't all actually have his head. It's a bit bizarre. We've done some head swaps just so there is a difference. So if you're painting them up, it doesn't look like you've got 5 siblings of each other.
Yeah. But I think that's so cool because they're the kind of thing that you don't necessarily always think of. But if you're doing a dock scene or a seaside scene, why not have someone from the RNLI on the? It's such a little thing that you wouldn't think about, but then you hear about it and you go, "That's a cool idea." And I think that's what's really clever about the company, and that you're not just thinking everyone has to be a driver, a fireman, or somebody on a platform. There are jobs out there that can be depicted that don't necessarily have to be straight away driver, fireman, and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a great little shout.
Yeah, it's world building, isn't it? It's that sort of, as Sam says, you're expanding beyond the railway, and I think that's what's so good about your range is you, when I look through the catalogue, yeah, you do have your drivers and your firemen and your station staff, and then Sam says there's all sorts in there. You've got policemen and postal workers. I think you even do the postal workers on the travelling train, don't you? For the if I recall, sort of TPO workers, I think I saw on there.
Yes, we do. I'm a couple of them.
Ah, cool. That's cool little details like that. That's I like it. Right, I think it's time for a quick fire round, where we get the general questions we usually ask our other guests and condense them down into a more quick fire session. So, I'm assuming you are a railway modeler
I
before.
am, yes. We've not actually touched on that. Yes, I am.
This would be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
No, I hate railways, me. No, I am very much a railway modeler.
Excellent stuff. Are you a steam, diesel, or electric modeler?
Steam.
There we are. Lovely stuff.
So I've got a preference for Steam, but I cheat. I will admit, I'll hold my hands up and say I'm a cheat. So I model generally preservation period. So like now effectively. So Steam's my favorite, but so I don't spend an absolute fortune, it's got to still be in existence.
That's a good rule. 'Cause, yeah, the preservation one's quite an easy path to go down where you could just buy anything you liked if you don't stick to that rule, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, so I always had such a rule that effectively it was southwest. So I have an absolute love for the South Devon Railway. Effectively, anything that's ran down there, I've given myself a free pass for. So, for example, the Cavalex did their Class 60s, and when the announcement was done, I was like, "That's fine. There's none of them preserved. Like none of them preserved, although there's some on the main line, and they don't. None of them are ever going to go on the South Devon Railway." And literally, like just before the models were actually released, 60029 Ben Nevis went on a weekend down at the South Devon Railway. And I was like, right, that's another 100 and something quid that I've got to spend on a train because it's somewhat different then.
It's a nice model.
It is an absolute fabulous model. So I'm happy with my purchase. It's just, I thought I had a pass away from getting that one. So yeah, I'd go steam first, then diesel, then electric for that one.
That's cool. Yeah. No, I know you're feeling there. Those lovely Bachmann LNWR coaches that have just been released. I looked at them and I thought they look absolutely gorgeous. I don't need them. And then I've been looking at London Brighton South Coast trains, and there was a Sunny South Express, I think they called it, and they made it all the way to Brighton. I was like, oh, I could get them. Never mind. Right then, what's your favourite scale? I'm assuming OO from the Cavalax, but maybe that's not your favourite scale. Maybe you enjoy looking at something, but you're modelling something else.
I've always been a double O modeler from when I was really young. So that's effectively stuck with me. I'm starting to dabble in other scales. I've not gone TT yet. I've gone N, starting on something in 009 because I really like Rapido's announcements. It's just something about O gauge. The lure of a small like pannier tank in O gauge just really gets me. And I know that doesn't really answer the question. I'd have to go 00 just because of that's what I've predominantly done through life. But if I had this exact question in a year's time, it could be a different answer.
I think that's how it works for me and Sam as well, because I'm sure ours has changed over time. In fact, you can usually work out what ours is by the theme of each season. So it's a key thing, I think.
It's one of those. There's such different draws for different scales for different reasons.
Yeah, there's always an appeal, isn't there? There's always something. Right. What is your favourite loco?
So yeah, favourite loco for me, I'd go with Dinmore Manor. So 7 years ago today, we actually got engaged. So obviously this is actually slightly ahead of time for it coming out. So 7 years ago, we got engaged on the footplate of Dinmore Manor at Broadway Station on the Gloucestershire-Warwickshire Railway. So she didn't know it was coming. She thought we we're just having a look on the footplate of the loco, to a shock of me getting down on one knee. I'll go with Dinmore Manor.
That's very cool.
You can't give a better answer than that, really, can you? That's a superb answer.
We're lucky enough then to have Odney Manor pull our wedding breakfast train on the West Somerset Railway, so sticking with the manors. But a Curascow haven't done a Odney Manor yet, so we'll have to wait and see what the future holds for that one.
I'm sure their manners will return. That's very lovely locos, and I think they won our fight club a long time back when we used to do those things, and me and Sam agreed on the manor. So yeah, a superb choice of locomotive there. Right then, what is your favourite model that you own?
I get to answer the same thing with that one. So for my wedding gift, she gave me a sound model of Dinmore. So it has to be.
Down Dinmore Manor, very nice, perfect choice, I think. And if it's available or has never been produced, regardless, what is the favourite model you'd like to own?
Obviously, I've touched on Odney Manor there, but what I would go with, and I don't know how I've never ended up buying one, is an A4. They're absolutely beautiful looking locos, and I don't know why I've never ended up owning one. So an A4.
Yeah, that's a good shout, isn't it, Sam? A4, Sam.
I
A4.
mean, I feel like this is a paid endorsement. I'm not going to say that Chris has been paid to say this, but I feel like it's just such a stretch. Why would anyone pick an A4? Anyway, I'm very happy for you, Chris. That's your choice.
No, I'm with you.
Second place, I'd go with one of the newer Cure scale panniers, just because I spent so much time, what would it have been, just after lockdown at the Severn Valley Railway, going backwards and forwards. So I'm looking forward to getting a model of 7714 that's preserved there.
Yeah,
That's very cool. It's one of the few double O gauge pre-orders that I've got that I'm looking forward to, because it'll be able to still go on various layouts and stuff. So I'm with you. I think the Akira scale panniers coming are going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to them coming and then announcing another batch with a suitable number that's a Somerset and Dorset loco. But I'm just dropping a hint there, Akira scale. Cool. Right, that's the end of our quick fire round. Then we'll jump straight back into it and talk more about Model U. So we touched on this earlier with model shows. How important do you feel they are for you as a company and attending them?
Super important. Absolutely incredibly important. Recently there was Shrewsbury Model Show. So this isn't even going as a company. This was me going up personally. But I was able to have like a couple of chats with different people that were there. So that was quite nice. The likes of, say, George Williamson, he had his. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. I'm going to absolutely butcher it. So he had his new layout there, which was really nice to see. But it was nice to be able to have that bit of a chat with George. Like, he's an absolutely fantastic modeler. Really nice guy. Where we were both at the NEC recently, but where we were at completely different parts of the hall, he had Corish with him for that one. I didn't actually get to really see him at the show.
That's because he was hidden. He was like the hardest layout to find there. I mean, they put him right next to that 5-inch gauge railway, hadn't they? So he was he sort of was just hidden away in this area. Because I was trying to find him, but yeah, George is absolutely lovely to. We've had him on the show before, but yeah, have a chat with him and talk railways with George is always such a great time. And yeah, I found him at the NEC, and I think I spent a good hour talking to him. It's, absolute pleasure. So yeah, no, I get that. But yeah, he was very hard to find there.
But the other side of it is, for the big shows, business to business things instead of, as well as business to customer, but business to business. There's not many times you'd have so many different companies that you're starting to get working relationships with, and you can actually have this face-to-face conversation. It's really makes a difference. But where we do so many different shows around the country, it's a case of it allows customers a chance to come and see us, to question us. So I had a collection of O gauge figures with me at Kempton Park, where there was a couple of customers and they were a bit unsure on how to take the supports off figures. So I had the bits with me from setting up the stand. So I was just descrewing a couple of extra figures just to show the customers how to do it carefully, and it makes that bit difference than just trying to say it over the phone or something like that.
That's the nice thing about it, isn't it? It's the personal touch, and that people can come and find you. And you've got a few shows coming up for the rest of the year, haven't you? I mean, where can people find you?
So this coming weekend we're at Exeter show. So this is the most southwest the scanner's ever been. We've got a whole host of stock going to be with us. Really looking forward to that. One of our team actually lives in Exeter, so it's his local show. So looking forward to that. Then we've got Rails of Sheffield. We've got an open day there in August, 9th of August. So that is just the scanner for that one. Then we've got Gildet, so another O gauge one in October, and Rapido Rail-X as well. Absolutely fantastic show, Rapido Rail-X. Really nice atmosphere. You can tell it's being put on by modelers. I'm not meaning that against any other shows. It's just a bit of a different feel to it.
Yeah, it looked good. The one from last year, and I think Tom was there. I think Tom had praised it, and I think he's going to be there this year. And yeah, it does look a very interesting show, and it was just a bit too far in the corner of the country for me to reach. I think I might have been working that weekend as well, but it's definitely on my list for one to attend at some point.
It's a bit of a different one because they do it on the Friday and Saturday, that show. So it's a bit of a different one, but it's fully recommend if you can swing by to give it a bit of time.
Fine for me. I'm a shift worker. Friday's my weekend, you know what I mean?
Yes. So then we've got NEC in November, and then in December, the wife's coming with me up to Wigan for a Gauge O Guild show. So that's the most north the scanner's been. This new photogrammetry rig. So it'll be. I'm hopeful for good weather because Bristol to Wigan's not the easiest of drives.
Yeah, especially in December. That would. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's been lovely all year so far. Barely rained, so if it continues like this,
I had to go north to pick up a layout for work. This hasn't been announced anywhere yet. Oh, you've got yourself a.
Well, you heard it here first. A little excuse for us. Go on then.
Breaking news.
So we've ended up with a layout that was owned by Andy York. So obviously, unfortunately, he passed away. Yeah, we've ended up with the layout here. So I'm looking at it. It's an absolute fabulous scene. So we're hopeful to tidy that up a bit. But yeah, on the drive up to Birmingham to get it, like it rained and it rained so hard. The joys of the M5 in the rain, absolutely fantastic.
Oh dear. But but on a more positive note, that's lovely to hear that Andy's work has come to you and will live on in memory of him. So that's nice to see. Will it be going out in public, or are you keeping it sort of where you are?
We're not 100% sure as yet. So we're doing some renovation work to the office. So in an ideal world, we wouldn't have actually picked it up for another month. So it's just on this side at the moment, but I don't know. I know people watching won't be able to listen and won't be able to see, but it's that whole length is one layout. So where it was cut originally to go into Andy York's, it needs a little bit of TLC, but it's absolutely incredible. So we're glad to be able to continue on something from Andy, really.
That's really nice. That's a nice memento.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not meaning to do this as a sales promotion, it's more a charitable thing. We've had the figures of Andy York on the website that we're 50% of all sales are going to charity as well. That was chosen by Wendy, so his wife.
Okay, that's nice. So yeah, you're saying that a figure of Andy York is available on the website, and proceeds go to charity. What charity is that?
That's St. Giles Hospice.
St. Charles. That's cool. That's lovely. That's really lovely gesture. I think it's nice that you've also taken ownership of his layout, and you know it's not destined for the tip, so to speak. So yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, I think it was at a point if we didn't end up with it as well, it was gonna get like broken into parts. We wanted to make sure we could keep it going effectively.
Yeah, that'd be a shame, wouldn't it, if it ended up like that? So yeah, I think that's a really nice gesture. But there we are. That's and I think a nice note to end things on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, Chris. It's really been an insightful conversation to getting to know ModelU and how you work and how everything's done. And I'm sure people can find it in a Google search. But if they do want to find you, where do they need to go if they want to find your website?
So our website is ModelU 3D, U just the letter U. So modelu3d.co.uk. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, feel free to ping us a message there. That's usually myself that will answer most of those. We've also got, regarding Facebook and Instagram, a ModelU military account and ModelU studio account. So there for every need you may have.
Yeah. I noticed the military ones. So some of the aircraft pilots are very cool. So lovely. Well, thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully I'll see you around at one of the model shows in the future and try and sort myself out a scan. But for now, I think we'll take a break and we'll come back. We'll do our social media. Well, no, that's not what we do. That we don't do that anymore. We do a call attention corner that no one ever calls attention to. Let's take a break.
Thank you very much for having me.
You there? Oh, me? Do you like model railways? Yes, that's why I'm listening to the Model Rail Replacement podcast. Do you like comedy? No, that's why I'm listening to the Model Rail Replacement podcast. If you like model railways and comedy, head over to BugglesKellyStation.com. From Dad's Army to Will Hay, Laurel and Hardy to the island of Sodor. Add a comedy cameo to your model railway today. All right, thanks. Buggles Kelly Station. You won't be wasting your time.
Well, I mean, it was a lovely chat with Chris there and getting an understand of ModelU and all the things that they can do. And I will have to see them at an exhibition and I suppose get myself scanned in future. Or as I say, I could probably venture down to maybe their location, dig out my uniform, and maybe I could get myself scanned in that, and then people can have an actual Western signal in their signal box. Right then, Sam. Is anyone ready to call attention in the old signal box?
Do you know what they are?
Hello, listeners of the Model Rail Replacement podcast. I don't know if this is the point of Call Attention Corner. However, James and Sam really weren't clear when they said who could and couldn't call attention to themselves. In this corner they've put me in, it's cold and damp and echoey. But anyway, I thought I'd call attention to myself. No, David, I don't think you need a fanfare. But anyway, go check out my content over on Horsehay Railway Modeler, YouTube, Instagram, and RM Web. That's Horsehay Railway Modeler. I'm currently building a large model railway in the western region of British Rail, based around 1965 to 1971, and I get up to all sorts, including scenery, scratch building. I do quite a lot of electronics, so feel free to go check that out. Or don't, it's up to you, you do have free will. Anyway, back to those two blokes with their audio podcast thing.
I can't believe he's going to have fighter jets all over that layout. That's amazing.
I know. The thing is, I can't believe that he's going to motorize the Spitfire and have it going around on the runway like an Indiana Jones film.
It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Yeah. Do you think people could tell that I hadn't seen the video?
No, never.
There we are. Yeah, it's cool. But you know what was nice? It wasn't TT 120. It's been too much talk of that recently in this podcast. Model Rail Replacement Podcast, brought to you this week by TT120. Actually, there is a bit of TT120 news, wasn't there? I think Peachy wanted us to shout out that his layout Camelot has made it to the Hornby TT120 newsletter. So if you do like that sort of thing, Sam, yeah, head on over there and get yourself the spring issue.
I do need to clarify. I have still been keeping it every gauge as much as I possibly can. as much as that is my primary gauge. I'm terribly sorry that the only people sending in stuff for Call Attention Corner are people who want to put things in the exhibition calendar, which is already in there, or TT modelers. So sorry.
Yeah. For you who have contacted us for the Call Attention Corner. I have got your emails, and we are aware that you'd like to have some attention called. So yeah, just await the coming weeks, and you'll be called out in order. Talking the exhibition diary, then Sam, I suppose I better start reading through it.
Yes, please do.
There we are. Right then, for the upcoming weekend of Saturday the 21st of June and Sunday the 22nd, we'll start off on the Saturdays then with not the band, obviously. I don't think they're still going anymore. I don't think they're interested in trains either. Do you think that the band the Saturdays would be into my railway modelling?
I'm pretty sure Frankie would. Frankie feels like the one who would definitely be into model railways.
Let's get her on the show. Let's get Frankie on the show and see what modelling she's been up to.
You're Frankie.
Saturday, 21st of June, then, North Downs Model Railway Circle is having the Summer Model Railway exhibition at the 3rd Barnstead Scout Group Scout Ridge, Barnstead in Surrey. Crawley Signal Box is having its open day event on the Saturday the 21st. It's at the Crawley Signal Box in Crawley, West Sussex. I think it's a monthly thing because I tend to call that one out quite often.
That one comes out a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of times you can get, but I mean, I think that box is open more than my Signal box. And mine's 24/7. So there we are. Saturday the 21st, Ipswich Transport Museum, Ipswich Transport and Model Festival. This is the Ipswich Transport Museum at the old trolley bus depot in Cobham Road, Ipswich, Suffolk. Craven Arms and District Model Railway Circle is having the Model Railway exhibition at Ludlow Racecourse in Bromfield in Ludlow, Shropshire. Heart of England Narrow Gauge Modelers having a monthly meeting on the 21st and the 22nd Rugby Scout Hut at the Kent Hill Morton Rugby, Warwickshire. Ooh, this one I could go to. Saturday 21st is the Oxfordshire Narrow Gauge Modelers Society Running Day at the Sibford Village Hall, Main Street, Sibford Gower, Oxfordshire. I don't know where that is. I've never heard of that place in my life.
That is the one you were talking about the other week, though. You said that they were doing waiting for the Oxford one. It was, and it hasn't come back, and now it's back.
Well, the other one was just outside of Didcot, and I don't know. I'm just saying, I've never heard of Sibford Gower. I mean, in fact, I didn't grow up in Oxfordshire, so I just live near it. But there we are. I'll have to have a look and find out where that is. Maybe I get them. Lots of other people might be Googling it and looking now, and then they might realise that they're also near it, and they can also go too. So this is very good promotion for the Oxfordshire Narrow Gauge Modelers Society.
Well,
So,
there you go then.
oh yeah, I probably should get more involved with that one, I suppose, really, shouldn't I? As a 009 modeler and a member of the 009 Society.
I mean, you claim that you're a 009 modeler, but at the moment, all I'm hearing is that you're abandoning your county.
If Yorkshire Cricket Club want you to play for Yorkshire Cricket Club, but you were born in Lancashire, that's just what you do, isn't it? You know, it's the old saying goes. I've never heard that saying before, but there we are.
No.
Right, I'm really losing track here. Let's get back into it. Getting distracted. Saturday, 21st of June, Thames Riders Model Railroad Group at the Summer Meet 2025. This sounds like something Steve would like, and also sounds like it's near his house. St Oswald Village Hall, Clacton Road, St Oswald, Clacton-on-Sea, Essex. I say near his house. I just know he lives somewhere in that region of the world. He'll correct us at some point if we've got it wrong, I'm sure. Or alternatively, there'll be a video on his channel. Go have a look, the British Railroader. Saturday the 21st then also has the West Camel Model Railway Society Club Open Day. This is the Davis Hall in Howard Hill, West Camel in Somerset. For all weekend, Saturday 21st and Sunday the 22nd, Friends of St Leonard's Church. Little trains for a little church. I like it.
That sounds quaint.
It does, doesn't it? St Leonard's Church at St Leonard's Road in Bendigo, Hertfordshire. All weekend is the Bolton Model Railway Society Open Day. That's for the Bolton Marketplace Shopping Centre, first floor, next door to H&M, Knowles Street, Bolton, Lancashire. That's one that pops up quite often as well, that Open Day. You start to notice these things after a while. Also for weekend is the X Model Railway Society X Model Railway Exhibition, and that's at the Matford Centre, Matford Park Road, Exeter, Devon. All weekend is the Southampton Tram Project at the Solent Sky Tram and Railway event, Solent Sky Museum at the Albert Road South, Southampton, Hampshire. Sunday the 22nd, no, that one's cancelled. So if you were planning to go to the Carlisle District Overgauge Group Open Day, it's cancelled. Don't go. You're wasting your time. Ilford and West Essex Model Railway Club additional open day. Ride-on Railway, adjacent to the north side of the Chadwell Heath Station, Station Road, Chadwell Heath, Greater London. I was going to suggest maybe the people that want to go to the Cumbria one could go to that one, but they're kind of opposite ends of the country, so that might not work for you. Unless you're feeling like a big, nice 9-hour drive. Sunday the 22nd, Model Rail Exhibition 2025 at the Copenhagen Club, 103 North Street in Crewe, Cheshire. At Gravesend Railway Enthusiast Society is having a family open day at the Higham Memorial Hall, School Lane, Higham, Rochester, Kent. Rochester, get that right, Kent. That is all for this weekend. There we are. Right, then, Sam. That's pretty much wrapped up for this week. I don't know what the devil we're doing next week. It must be a discussion week again already.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a discussion week, or is it? No, it can't be. Oh wait, no, it is a discussion week because
we muddled up the order of episodes because basically we forgot about half term. Unfortunately, we had interviewed Lucy quite a while ago and was able to dig that one out and put it a week early, which then put everything out of sync. But yeah, as of next week, hopefully we'll be back in order and going for livery repaints. Looks like it's the discussion.
Oh, that sounds right up my street.
Yeah, there we are discussing repainting models, the pros and cons, tips and advice. And I've got in here in brackets and our little plan, if possible, have Danny and Southwest Max on. So we've obviously not planned that out because we haven't spoken to either of them. Welcome to the Model Rail Replacement Podcast. It's the most unorganised podcast you'll ever listen to, but that's the end of it. Sam, tell people how they can find you.
If you want to find me and tell me I'm a good little southern boy, it's Emperor's Path on Instagram. It's Emperor's Path on YouTube, Emperor's Path on Facebook. James, how can we get hold of you?
Yeah, it's Western Signalman. Just put it in Google, it'll pop up. And otherwise, it's Model Rail Replacement Podcast is on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and I don't know, that's on Google as well if you Google it. You can ask AI about it as well, it gives you all sorts of weird answers. Always fun. Yeah, just ask AI about Model Rail Replacement Podcast. I'm sure that'll help the algorithm. Right then, if you want to email us, tell us about your Call Attention Corner, anything you want to let us know, and do as Horsey did. Send a little video and we'll merge it into the podcast and you can be on the show. How about that? You got to email us. Model Rail RP. That's Romeo Papa. Not the words Romeo Papa. I'm just saying it's RP. That's the phonetic alphabet for it. At outlook.com. That's all for this week. As I say, next week, I think we plan to talk about livery repaints. So come back for that one. And we'll see you then. So hopefully, all I can say for this week is we've been entertaining, informative, and have replaced your model railway, if only just for a little bit. I've been James, and with me has been Sam. Thanks for listening.
This service terminates here. Please ensure you take all of your personal belongings with you.
Hello, listeners. We've got some very exciting news. Do you want to be part of the podcast? Do you want to join the team? Well, an exciting opportunity has come up to allow you to be part of the Model Rail Replacement Podcast. And here's Sam with the details.
This episode is brought to you by Patreon. A huge thank you to our Patreons for their support. If you'd like to help support the show, you can head over to Patreon and search Model Rail Replacement Podcast, where you can show your support and be part of the team.
Hurry, there's unlimited places.